welcome to your deep dive into the world of human nature.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So we're going deep with Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. And, I think a lot of people hear that and they think, okay, yeah, this is about understanding other people.
Always sizing people up.
Yeah. But it's really more than that, right?
It is much more than that.
It's almost like looking in a mirror, at ourselves.
Yeah, it really.
To those impulses we don't want to admit we have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Greene really talks about how we judge by appearances and impressions,
Yeah.
And he wants us to have the tools to be able to see past that, like those carefully crafted facades we all have.
It's like being a detective.
It's like being a detective of human nature.
Yeah. And speaking of the hidden depths, Greene starts with this concept of the shadow personality.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? Is he talking about literal shadows?
No, not literal shadows. Think of it more as like a hidden room in your personality where you kind of stash all the desires and emotions and instincts that you've deemed unacceptable.
Oh, so this is like the stuff we don't want to admit even to ourselves.
Yeah, or that we think is dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, so is he saying everyone has this?
Everyone has a shadow side.
Even people who seem totally put together.
Those people.
Oh, okay.
Often, the more put together they seem, the bigger the shadow.
Interesting. So,
and the more we deny it, the more power we give it.
Okay, so we shouldn't just try to shove it down.
No, you can't get rid of the shadow.
Okay.
You have to integrate it.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we even start to peek into that room?
Well, self-reflection is really key. Journaling can be great for this.
Yeah.
He suggests asking yourself questions like, what are some traits I dislike in other people that I might secretly possess?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, or what are some behaviors I've engaged in that just seem totally out of character?
Yeah, why did I do that?
Yeah, and the answers might really surprise you.
Yeah, I bet. So we've acknowledged the shadow, it's there, we've peeked in.
Okay.
Now what do we do with it?
But that's the work, right?
Yeah.
Greene says we can actually channel the energy from the shadow into productive outlets.
Okay, so like
creativity,
yeah,
leadership,
okay,
assertiveness.
Interesting.
Yeah, think about an artist who channels their shadow into their art.
Yeah.
Or an activist who channels their anger into fighting for social justice.
So it's almost turning something negative
exactly
into a positive.
And transforming it.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so we're learning to kind of embrace the full spectrum of who you are. But Greene doesn't stop there, does he? He says humans are inherently irrational.
Well, yeah, this is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. But
why does he say that?
Well, because it's true.
Okay.
We think we're all logical, but really our emotions and biases
play a big role.
Huge role.
Okay.
Even in our decision making.
Yeah. Okay, so give me an example. How does this actually play out?
Well, he talks about Pericles.
Oh, yeah, the Athenian statesman?
Exactly. Pericles observed that Athenian politicians were supposed to be all about reason.
Yeah, they were supposed to be the best.
But they were actually driven by greed and lust for power.
And what happened?
Chaos. Total political chaos.
Oh, so this irrationality, it's not just a cute quirk.
No, it has
real consequences.
Yeah, big consequences.
So how do we, combat that? How do we become less irrational?
Well, you can't become less irrational,
yeah,
but you can become more aware of it.
Okay.
You can cultivate self-awareness and critical thinking.
Okay, so when I encounter some persuasive message,
yeah,
I should
take a step back.
Take a step back and say, okay, wait.
Yeah, and just ask yourself, is this person appealing to my logic or my emotions?
Okay.
Look at the evidence. Consider other perspectives.
Oh, so don't just get swept away by how they're saying it.
Exactly.
Right, I like that. It's almost learning a new language.
It is. It's
the language of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, emotional intelligence.
Okay, so speaking of emotional intelligence, Greene talks about empathy as a tool for connecting with others.
Yeah, empathy is really powerful.
Okay.
But it's hard because
we're all a little bit
narcissistic. We're all focused on ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's not a fixed trait.
Okay.
You can develop your empathy.
Okay.
It takes effort.
All right. So how do we do that?
Well, Greene suggests shifting your focus outwards. So paying attention to other people, to their emotions, really listening to them.
Okay.
So notice their body language, their tone of voice, their expressions. Ask open-ended questions.
Yeah.
And actually listen to the answers.
So that's harder than it sounds.
It is. It takes practice.
So we're becoming more observant, more aware of other people.
Yeah.
So speaking of reading people, Greene talks about the power of nonverbal cues.
Oh, yeah. Our bodies are always talking.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, our words can be rehearsed, but our bodies,
Gives away.
they leak out the truth.
So, like, what are we talking about here? Give me an example.
Like a fleeting expression,
Yeah.
a change in posture, a nervous gesture.
Uh,
These all provide clues to what's really going on.
so it's like we have to become detectives of nonverbal communication.
We all do.
Okay, so what should we be paying attention to?
Well, Greene really highlights eye contact.
Okay.
Like, are they making direct eye contact or looking away?
Yeah.
Are their pupils dilated?
I've never even thought about the pupils.
Yeah, you can tell a lot from the pupils.
So we should be paying attention to, like, facial expressions.
Yeah, especially those little micro
I
expressions.
have a little micro expression.
You know those really quick flashes of emotion?
Okay.
Like a grimace before a smile or a tightening of the jaw?
Oh, so even if they're trying to hide it,
Yeah,
it might leak out.
it leaks out.
So this is really giving us an edge in, like, understanding.
Yeah, if you can read these signs,
Yeah.
you're ahead of the game.
So it's not just about the words, it's about everything else.
It's about the whole package.
Okay, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
But Greene doesn't just focus on, like, the positive stuff, does he?
Yeah.
He talks about things like envy.
Oh, envy is a powerful emotion.
It is, and it can be, like, sneaky.
It's very subtle.
Yeah. So how do we spot it?
Well, it often comes out in backhanded compliments,
Okay.
excessive praise that just doesn't feel genuine,
Okay.
or even like trying to sabotage someone's success.
Oh, wow. So, like, someone's really doing well, and you're like,
And you're like, oh no.
I'm so happy for you. But,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, Greene has a story about Mary Shelley in here.
Right? Oh, yes, about Mary Shelley.
Yeah. Tell me that story.
Well, Mary Shelley had a friend named Jane Williams
Oh, okay.
who would shower her with praise.
Okay.
But it turned out that Jane was actually envious of Mary.
Oh, wow. So it was, like, masked.
Yeah, it was totally masked.
Okay, so envy can masquerade as admiration. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So how do we protect ourselves from these envious types?
Well, awareness is key, right? The
Oh.
more you understand envy, the more you can protect yourself from it.
Yeah.
And set boundaries, too.
Okay.
Don't get caught up in their games.
So it's like recognizing the signs and then getting out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. So envy isn't the only thing he talks about. He talks about grandiosity.
Yeah.
What is grandiosity?
It's an inflated sense of self-importance.
Okay.
Usually it's masking insecurity.
Oh, so they're overcompensating?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
They crave admiration and control.
And their need for validation is...
Never ending.
Oh, wow. So we all know these people, right?
We all know these people.
I can be charming.
Oh, they can be very charming.
Yeah, but there's something underneath.
Yeah, something's not quite right.
So Greene says this can lead to their downfall.
It can.
Yeah.
Well, he uses the example of Michael Eisner.
Oh, the Disney guy.
Yeah, Eisner had a really pampered upbringing, and that really fueled his grandiosity.
Yeah.
And it led to his downfall at Disney.
Really?
Yeah, he alienated everyone.
Oh, so it's like they create their own...
Their own undoing.
Okay, so it's a cautionary tale that true confidence...
Comes from within,
Yeah, not from all the external stuff.
not from the outside.
Okay, this is good stuff. So Greene goes even deeper, though, right? He wants us to look at our own gender rigidity.
Oh, yeah, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, what's he talking about here?
He's saying that we repress our masculine or feminine qualities
Okay.
to try and fit in.
So, like, regardless of our gender.
Yeah, men and women both.
Okay.
We try to fit into these boxes.
And he says that limits us.
It limits our potential.
Okay, and he gives some examples, right?
Yeah, he talks about Caterina Sforza.
Who was she?
She was this Italian noblewoman,
Okay.
and she was really amazing because she embraced both her masculine and feminine qualities.
Okay, so she was like,
She was a warrior.
yeah.
She was a politician.
Okay.
But she was also a loving mother
Yeah.
and a patron of the arts.
So she was like the full package.
She was the full package.
And Greene is saying we should all be more like that.
He's saying we all have both sides.
Yeah.
And we need to embrace both.
This is really making me think about, like, how I'm showing up in the world and what I might be suppressing.
That's the point.
Yeah, I like that.
You have to be aware of it to change it.
Okay, this is good stuff. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive even deeper into Greene's The Laws of Human Nature.
Welcome back to the deep dive into human nature with Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. Last time we explored the shadow self and irrationality. Now we're going to decode the social dynamics around us.
Yeah, I'm ready to level up my social intelligence because it's clear we're all playing this game, even if we don't know the rules.
Exactly. And Greene provides us with a framework for understanding the unspoken rules, especially in environments with power dynamics. He calls it the court.
Yeah, we touched on the court briefly in part one.
Hmm.
Remind me, what's the court and how does it relate to everyday life?
Think of it as any social environment where people are competing for power, influence, and attention. Could be work, family, even your online world.
So not just kings and queens.
No, it's about understanding the power dynamics in any group setting. You know those subtle cues and strategies people use to get ahead?
Okay, so we don't have to be pawns in this game. How do we start to decode these unspoken rules of the court?
Become a keen observer of the social landscape around you. Pay attention to those cues that reveal the power dynamics. Notice who has influence and how do they use it. What are their strengths and weaknesses?
So I'm putting on my detective hat again, looking for patterns and hidden agendas.
And as you observe, ask yourself, what can you learn, both the positive and negative? How can you adapt your strategies to navigate this specific court?
It's like creating a playbook for social intelligence.
Yeah.
But Greene doesn't just have us observing, does he?
No, he provides specific strategies for navigating the court, building alliances, influencing those in power, and protecting yourself.
Okay, this is where it gets good. Give me those strategies.
One of the most important is indirection.
Indirection. Sounds kind of sneaky.
It's about achieving goals through subtle and unexpected means. Direct confrontation rarely works in the court.
Makes sense, so being strategic, finding those win-win solutions.
Exactly. Greene has tactics for achieving indirection, framing your requests in a way that appeals to people's self-interest, using humor and charm to disarm people.
So instead of forcing my agenda, I'm finding ways to nudge things in the right direction. Playing social chess.
Yes, thinking several moves ahead. But indirection isn't the only tool.
What else?
Understanding the psychology of persuasion, knowing how to appeal to people's emotions, insecurities, their desires.
We talked about irrationality. So it's about connecting emotionally, tapping into those underlying motivations.
People are more easily swayed by emotions than logic. Greene gives us a framework for understanding those emotional triggers.
So I'm not manipulating people, I'm understanding them. Framing my message so it resonates with their desires. This is good for anyone, right? Not just people seeking power.
Right. This knowledge can help you be a better communicator, a better leader, even a better friend. Think about how you can use this in your own life.
Lots to think about. Upgrading my social operating system. But what about self-presentation?
Right. Greene says that in the court, how you present yourself is as important as what you say. Creating a persona that aligns with your goals and values, inspiring trust and respect.
So being intentional with the image I project, but not being fake. It's like we're actors on a stage.
Exactly. And you can use your body language, tone of voice, clothes, even your surroundings to create a specific impression.
Becoming my own brand manager, how do I do that?
Pay attention to your appearance, posture, body language. Think about the message you want to send and choose things that reinforce that.
I'm becoming more aware of how I'm perceived, taking control of my narrative. But this all feels manipulative. Where's the line between ethical influence and manipulation?
That's the key question. Greene says knowledge can be used for good or for evil, like a knife. It depends on the intention.
It's about how we use the tools, aligning my actions with my values.
Greene encourages us to use these insights ethically, in a way that benefits everyone. Our power comes from elevating ourselves and others.
It's about playing a different game, one based on collaboration, empathy, and mutual respect. But where do I even begin?
Self-awareness. Understand your own shadow side, irrational tendencies, your deep-seated desires. Look inward before trying to understand others.
Get my own house in order. What else?
Develop qualities for navigating the world more effectively. Social intelligence, emotional intelligence, empathy, and understanding.
So it's not just mastering the techniques, it's about my character, integrity.
Greene offers strategies. Active listening, putting yourself in others' shoes, challenging your own biases. Train your mind to be more flexible.
Upgrading my social operating system, adding empathy and kindness. But Greene also talks about having a clear sense of purpose.
A strong sense of purpose is like a compass, guiding you through life, helping you make choices aligned with your values. You overcome obstacles and resist temptations, and you make a positive impact.
It's like knowing why I'm playing the game, having a vision for what I want to create.
This is essential for ethical leadership, creating a world that is more just and fulfilling for everyone.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
But how do we cultivate this sense of purpose? The world is full of distractions.
Ask yourself some questions. What are my core values? What do I care about? What impact do I want to have? The process of asking is what matters.
So reflecting, connecting with my values, tuning out the noise.
Once you identify those values, you can start making choices aligned with them. Seek opportunities to express them. Your purpose will deepen.
Planting seeds of purpose and nurturing them with my actions. But Greene also talks about having a balanced view of ourselves.
Yes. Recognizing both your strengths and weaknesses. Approaching the world with confidence and humility.
Knowing my worth without letting my ego inflate. We're all works in progress.
This is essential for healthy relationships, navigating challenges, creating a fulfilling life.
So self-awareness, social intelligence, strong sense of purpose, and a balanced self-view.
Those are the pillars. Greene argues they support us in all aspects of life.
But it's not about being perfect, is it? It's about the journey.
The path to a meaningful life isn't always straight. There will be challenges and setbacks. The key is to keep moving forward, learning and growing.
So embracing the messiness, learning from mistakes, and keep moving towards those goals that matter.
That's what gives life richness and depth. It's about savoring the journey.
Life is a dance to be enjoyed, a symphony, a masterpiece to be created.
And Greene says, approach it with intention and playfulness. Experiment, take risks, embrace the unknown, trust the journey.
We've come full circle. Greene's The Laws of Human Nature took us deep.
We explored the light and shadow, strengths and weaknesses, an invitation to embrace our nature and create a more fulfilling life.
Well said. We've reached the end of our deep dive into the laws of human nature. I'm feeling inspired.
Me too. This is a book I'll keep coming back to.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've gained some insights and a renewed sense of curiosity about ourselves.
The journey doesn't end here. Keep exploring and growing. Keep diving deep.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From the depths of our shadow selves to the complexities of power dynamics. But Greene doesn't stop there. He goes even deeper. He wants us to confront some really big questions, like our relationship with time and death, and even the search for meaning in a world that sometimes feels kind of meaningless.
You know, it's funny because after all that stuff about our psychology and how we interact, Greene turns to these huge questions that we all face, like what is our relationship with time? What about death? And how do we find purpose when everything feels chaotic?
Yeah, those are heavy topics, and it feels like we're moving from everyday psychology to like philosophy almost. But I'm ready. Let's do it. So how does Greene even approach this?
Well, he starts by pointing out that our culture, the way we live today, it's really messed up our view of time. We're obsessed with youth and being productive and instant gratification. Like we try to outrun time, but we never really stop to think that our time is limited.
It's like we're all in denial about death, pretending it's not going to happen, and we're so busy with the next goal, the next achievement, even the next distraction. We forget to enjoy the present moment, Just appreciate life.
Exactly. And that's what Greene says. This denial of death, like this fear we're not even aware of, it stops us from really living. We just chase these superficial things, always needing validation from others, and we never really connect with who we are deep down.
So it's not about obsessing over death. It's about understanding that time is precious, that life is short, and using that to live a better life.
That's it. Greene says that by accepting our mortality, accepting that we have limited time, it helps us live more in the now. Like we start to prioritize what really matters, let go of the little things that stress us out, and focus on what brings us joy and purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of like that saying, live each day as if it were your last. But instead of being scared, it's about appreciating life more, feeling grateful for every moment.
I think that's a great way to put it. Greene says when we face that fear of death, we can actually be more free to be ourselves. We drop the masks, all those roles we play to please others, and we can finally be true to who we are.
So, death is a wake-up call to discover ourselves. We don't have time to waste being someone we're not or chasing things that don't matter to us. It's time to find our purpose and be ourselves.
That's powerful. And Greene believes that this need to find our purpose, to make a difference, it's in all of us. But it's not about some big achievement or being famous. It's about living according to our values, using our talents to make a positive impact, even if it seems small.
So not about being a superhero, just making a difference in your own way.
Exactly. He says we each have a role to play. It's not about comparing ourselves to others or being successful in the eyes of the world. It's about embracing who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your passions, and using those to create something good, something meaningful, something that makes you happy and leaves a positive mark.
Finding that place where what you love meets what the world needs. And it's not something you find, it's something you create.
Yes. Greene gives a framework for this. He says, think about your values, What are you good at? What are you passionate about? And how can you bring those into your life?
So you don't wait for inspiration to strike. You take action, try things out, see what gets you excited and makes you feel alive.
And as you do that, you'll start to see opportunities that fit with your purpose. Like you're sending a message to the universe and it's helping you out.
Like we're creating our own destiny.
Yeah.
But Greene's honest, right? He says this isn't always easy.
Right. He reminds us that it's not a smooth path. There are going to be obstacles, times when you doubt yourself and you might get off track. The important thing is to keep going, to keep learning, to adjust your course, and never stop growing.
So it's a journey, not a destination. You're not trying to be perfect. You're just trying to be better.
Exactly. And he says that this journey, this process of always growing and changing, that's what makes life meaningful. It's not about the end goal. It's about enjoying the ride, the ups and downs, the whole experience.
Life's not a race. It's a dance or a symphony.
And Greene says, be intentional, but also have fun. Experiment, take risks. Don't be afraid of what you don't know, and trust the process.
That's a great way to end this deep dive. We went from the shadow self to death to finding our purpose. It's been amazing.
Yeah, we saw the good and the bad, the logical and the not so logical. And ultimately, it's about understanding ourselves and using that to live a better life.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I know I have. It's given me so much to think about.
Thanks for joining us. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep being curious about this crazy thing we call human nature.